Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer. Today we're here for yet another Civilization 6 Leader Spotlight, where today we'll be taking a look at Catherine de Medici of France. So Catherine's first ability is known as Catherine's Flying Squadron, and it makes it so that she has one level of diplomatic visibility greater than normal with every civilization that she's met. She receives a free spy and one extra spy capacity with Castle's Tech, and all of her spies start as agents with one free promotion. So Catherine's Flying Squadron is okay, it's not particularly good, it has some good parts and some bad. So the one level of diplomatic visibility greater than normal is not too great. What diplomatic visibility does is it pretty much enables you to see more notifications about what other civs are doing. So if, maybe they finish a tech or they start trading with someone or they're planning to go to war, you'll get more notifications based on how high your level of diplomatic visibility is. So gaining one extra level will kind of just give you a few more notifications. The other thing that is good is that if you have a one level of diplomatic visibility greater than someone else has with you, you're going to be getting +3 combat strength against them. So this can give you a little bit extra combat strength whenever you're fighting, but +3 combat strength isn't too much, so it's not going to be too impactful. So that part of the ability is, I don't know, it's not that great. The free spy and one extra spy capacity with Castle's Tech is very nice because you can get your spies out a little bit earlier, you can get a few more spies, and in addition, all of your spies are going to be starting with one free promotion, so they'll have much higher chances of success. That'll make it so that you can pretty much be guaranteed at like a successful mission to then get further promotions, well, provided that your first promotion that you get is one that increases your chance of success on a given mission. So it'll allow you to get a lot of spies with a lot of much higher promotion levels, which is really nice because that is really important, especially if you're playing on higher difficulties, to just spy spam and either be siphoning gold or stealing techs or sabotaging spaceports or anything like that. So more spies, always a good thing, and Catherine is really good at using spies. Catherine's second ability is known as Grand Tour, and it makes it so that she gets +20% production towards medieval, Renaissance, and industrial era wonders, and all of the tourism that she gets from wonders of any era is doubled. So Grand Tour is, once again, it's pretty decent. +20% production towards medieval, Renaissance, and industrial era wonders is pretty good. That can help you get out quite a few wonders. The big thing here, though, is doubling tourism from wonders of any era. So how wonders work is they provide +2 tourism outright, and then for every era that you advance, they provide +1 more. So whenever you're going to be playing as Catherine, you're going to be getting +4 to start, and then you're going to be getting +2 for every era after that. So I believe in the ancient era, or if you build an ancient era wonder in the atomic era, or in the information era, you would normally be getting, I believe it's 9 tourism from that, but if you're playing as Catherine and you have computers, then you would be getting 36. So it can be quite a bit more tourism, which is quite helpful, so you definitely want to be spamming a lot of wonders, and the +20% production towards them is nice as well. That can just help you build a few more, but there are some problems with that we will talk about in a little bit. Moving on to France's unique unit, we have the Garde Imperiale, which is a unique melee unit that unlocks with military science. It doesn't replace anything, but for the sake of things, I'm going to be comparing it to the Musketmen, because that's probably what you'll be fighting whenever you get the Garde Imperiale. So it has a melee strength of 65, which is 10 more than the Musketmen, a movement of 2, which is the same as the Musketmen, a production cost of 340, which is 100 more from the Musketmen, and a maintenance cost of 5 gold per turn, which is 1 more than the Musketmen. Has a few special abilities as well. It gets +10 combat strength if you are on your capital's home continent, and it earns great general points from kills. It also does not require any strategic resources to build. So the Garde Imperiale it's a very strong unit. The thing that really sucks is that since it doesn't replace anything, you can't pre-build it, and it does have a significantly higher production cost than the Musketmen. So 100 more than the Musketmen, that's definitely going to be at least a few turns. So that does suck. You get these at the same time that you get cavalry, and they actually are even stronger than cavalry. And if you're on your home continent, they're going to be 13, I believe it's 13 combat strength stronger than cavalry, or, like something ridiculous, 20 combat strength higher than Musketmen if you're on your home continent. So you can use these either to defend yourself really well, because pretty much anything that's going to be thrown at you whenever you get these out is going to get destroyed by the Garde Imperiale, or if you happen to be on a continent that someone else is also on, then you can send these out, expand your borders a little bit, get you a little bit more room. Maybe you can steal some wonders from them if they have wonders in their cities, and then get yourself some more tourism. So you could either use these defensively or offensively, provided that you have a good continent split area, that, there isn't a continent split nearby and someone else is on the same continent. So you can use these either for offense or defense. They're very strong, but they also are quite expensive with pretty high production costs. So overall a mixed bag, but they definitely are very strong, that's for certain. As far as France's unique tile improvement is concerned, we have the Chateau, which unlocks with humanism. You must build a chateau along the river, and once you do, they will provide +2 culture. They also give +1 gold if adjacent to a luxury resource, +2 more culture if adjacent to a wonder, and +1 appeal to surrounding tiles. So overall, I think the Chateau is okay. If you're able to get it next to a wonder and a luxury resource, that'll be pretty good, because then you'll get +4 culture and +1 gold. So the thing that does kind of suck is that, you know, the additional gold and culture is not per luxury resource or per wonder, it's just if there is one adjacent. So the max yields you can get on these things is 4 culture and 1 gold. These will eventually provide tourism as well once you get flight, so that is always a nice thing. But if you're not able to get all the way up to the +4 culture, I don't think the Chateau is really worth it, because getting just a tile that has +2 culture, that's kind of underwhelming. And for the most part, I would rather just put a farm or a mine there, and you know, your yields would be generally better off. But if you are able to get these next to wonders, and maybe a luxury resource as well, that you're going to be getting the +4 culture and +1 gold, then they can be quite strong, especially once you reach flight. You can get a little bit of extra tourism out of that. You can also kind of use the additional appeal to maybe boost a seaside resort or boost a national park, but +1 isn't all that impactful. So overall, the Chateau is decent. The fact that it has to be built along a river, and it has quite specific things, quite specific adjacencies required to make it all that strong, I don't think it's gonna be, I just don't think it's that great of a tile improvement. It can be situationally, but not all the time. And now with all of this in mind, it is time to talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of Catherine and the French in Civilization 6. So for the first strength, I think that the Garde Imperiale have incredible strength, especially when you're on your home continent. So whenever you're on your home continent with the Garde Imperiale, you're going to be getting 75 combat strength, which most of the time, whenever you get the Garde Imperiale, you're going to be either fighting musketmen or cavalry, and musketmen have 55 combat strength and cavalry have 62, so you're going to be either 20 or 13 combat strength above any of those units, so you're going to be destroying them pretty easily. So for that, I think that the Garde Imperiale can be quite strong. If you're lucky and you happen to have someone else that's on the continent that you're on as well that you can take over, you can definitely use them to expand your empire a little bit. It does suck that they are really expensive, but they are also really powerful as well, so it is quite nicely balanced. The other strength of France is that they can really easily spam spies, so spy spam in Civ 6 is something that's really important on deity, or just, you know, the higher difficulties in general, just to make sure that you don't lose the game. So France is really good at making sure that they don't lose a science victory, or don't lose to a science victory, because they can get so many spies with so many promotions that they can just disable all the spaceports and just have a wonderful time doing it. So you are able to get a lot of good things from your spies when you're playing as France, and I think for that they are quite strong. As far as weaknesses are concerned, though, the first big one is that France is really reliant on wonder construction. So whenever you're playing as France, if you pretty much need to be getting wonders, otherwise you're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff. So first off, you know, you have your double tourism from wonders. So in the ancient era, you want to make sure you get at least 1 or 2 wonders, because that'll end up being quite a bit of tourism in the late game if you're able to get 1 or 2 of those. So you definitely want to be trying to build 1 or 2 wonders in the early game, and then eventually you're going to be getting your additional production towards wonders. So you want to make sure that you're able to get a few of those as well, just because you might as well take advantage of your ability. And then also with the Chateau, you really want to make sure that your chateaus are next to wonders. Otherwise, the Chateau is really just quite an underwhelming tile improvement, and it's not very good. So overall, you just really have to make sure that you're getting wonders as France, and that can be sometimes very difficult if you're playing on deity or immortal or something like that, where the AI is going to be getting so many bonuses towards wonders, and they'll be getting there before you even have the text to build them. They're going to be getting bonus production towards them just because they're the AI. So it is a big weakness of France that you really have to make sure that you're getting wonders, and if you're not getting wonders, then you're going to have a bad time as France. The other really big weakness of France is that the Garde Imperiale comes into effect at the same time as the wonder production boost. Well, relatively the same time. So by the time you get your plus 20% production towards your wonders, that's going to be relatively close to whenever you're getting your Garde Imperiale, and you really have to pick between one or the other, because since the Garde Imperiale have such high production cost, you really have to dedicate some resources to building those. So either you build, you know, some industrial era wonders, or you build the Garde Imperiale and you go take out your nearest neighbor. But very rarely are you going to be able to do both, just because of how expensive the Garde Imperiale are. So it does really suck from a timing perspective that they both come in, like they both kind of pop off at the same time. So that is one thing you're just gonna have to consider whenever you're playing France. Of you really have to pick between one or the other, because you're probably not gonna have enough resources to go with both. And now it is that time to give Catherine her tier ranking. So if you're new to the series, what I do is I give each leader a tier ranking in each of the 4 victory types, so domination, science, culture, and religion, and those tier rankings just kind of gauge the civilization's general proficiency at attaining either of the rankings. I also give them an overall ranking, which takes into account other things such as their spawn bias and their versatility, and that ranking just kind of pits them up against the other leaders in the game and gives you a general idea of where they fall amongst the other leaders. All of our rankings go from S to F, with S being the highest and F being absolutely terrible. So let's go ahead and rank Catherine. So domination's up first, and I think Catherine is deserving of a B in domination. She has a few bonuses towards domination, but they're not going to be particularly outstanding. So for one, you do get the extra diplomatic visibility, which can provide you a little bit of a combat strength boost, provided that your level of diplomatic visibility with someone is higher than theirs is with you. So that is something to take into account, that you possibly can get a little bit of a combat strength boost from that. It's generally going to be only probably +3 or +6, so +3 is not going to be that impactful, but +6 possibly could be. In addition to this, you also have the Guard Imperial, which are an incredibly powerful unique unit. The thing is, though, you can't pre-build them, so you really can't rush with them. And if you get unlucky and you spawn on a continent split, or your nearest neighbor is on a different continent, they're not going to be quite as strong. So they are really powerful, but they also do have some drawbacks and some situational things that really can kind of crush them sometimes. So overall, I think Catherine is decent at domination and deserves a B. Science is up next, and I think Catherine deserves a C in domination. She doesn't really have anything that makes it so that she shouldn't go for science, but she really doesn't have any bonuses towards it either, so she's fairly average, and I think she deserves a C. Culture is up next, and I think that Catherine deserves an A in culture. Catherine can get some good things towards culture. She's not too strong in culture, but she is quite good. So you do get the double tourism from wonders, which can be really good, especially if you get a lot of ancient era wonders. That'll eventually stack up in the late game to give you quite a bit of tourism, you know, possibly even over 100 tourism just from your ancient era wonders. You also are able to get the Chateau, which can provide a little bit of extra culture, a little bit of extra tourism, so that is very nice. And you also could use your spies maybe to, you know, go and steal some great works or something of the sort. The reason I'm not giving Catherine an S in science is just because of how absolutely reliant she is on wonders, and how hard it can be, like especially on higher difficulties, to get wonders sometimes. So if you're not getting wonders as Catherine, Catherine's really going to be underwhelming in culture, because the chateaus aren't going to be too great. You're not going to be getting as much tourism from them, and outside of like her wonders, she really doesn't have very many bonuses towards culture. So just because of that, I'm not going to give her an S, just because that is, you know, you're not going to be guaranteed to be able to get those things in every single game, unlike, you know, if someone just got unlike with Greece, say, with their special districts, you're guaranteed to get your special districts in every game, but you're not guaranteed to get wonders as France. So for that reason, I'm only going to give her an A instead of an S, but she still is a very good culture civ. Religion is up next, and once again, much like science, I think she deserves a C. Doesn't really have any bonuses towards science, or towards religion, but she doesn't really have any reason not to go for it as well, and you could use religion to help augment your culture game a little bit. That is actually something that is fairly viable as France, but I wouldn't 100% recommend it. But overall, she is pretty average in religion, and I think she deserves a C. As far as her overall ranking is concerned, I think Catherine deserves a B. She's another one of those civs that they're fairly decent at things. They're not overly great, but they're not bad either. So Catherine gets some, like, you know, she has a few bonuses towards domination. She has a very strong unique unit. You really can't rush it though, and it is quite expensive, so that does suck. She also does get some good things towards her wonders. She gets extra production towards some wonders in the medieval through industrial era, and she gets double tourism from her wonders. But if you're not going to be able to get wonders, then it really just becomes terrible, because you're not going to be getting very many bonuses at all towards culture, and the Chateau without wonders is really just not very good. So overall, she has some good things going for her. She's not incredibly strong, but she's definitely not bad either, so I think she deserves a B. So thank you everyone for watching. I've been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for more Civilization 6 content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.